This could take a bit of a long route and hurt Lively's case down the road as well.
Today, Hollywood was rocked by a jaw-dropping twist in the legal showdown between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, one that no one saw coming. After months of explosive claims, leaked documents, and tense courtroom battles, Blake Lively's entire legal team did something unthinkable. They walked out. That's right, multiple sources confirm that. Blake's attorneys packed up and officially withdrew from representing her just hours after Baldoni's legal team unleashed what insiders are calling their secret weapon. Here's how it all went down. According to court filings obtained this morning, Baldoni's defense presented a set of confidential emails and signed agreements that directly contradict key claims in Blake Lively's lawsuit. Those documents, which allegedly detail a series of undisclosed settlements and private communications, were described by one insider as the smoking gun that nuked her entire case. And within minutes of that evidence hitting the docket, cameras captured members of Blake's legal team exiting the courthouse, visibly shaken, refusing to answer questions. One reporter who witnessed the moment said the attorneys looked like they'd just been blindsided. But that wasn't all. Behind the scenes, Baldoni's camp was already prepared to go public with their side of the story. Late last night, his spokesperson issued a statement declaring, "Mr. Baldoni has maintained from day one that this lawsuit was a gross misrepresentation of private matters." Today's disclosures prove that point beyond any doubt. As word spread, fans and industry insiders flooded Twitter and Instagram with reactions ranging from disbelief to celebration. One high-profile entertainment lawyer tweeted, "When your own lawyers walk away, that tells you everything you need to know." Meanwhile, Blake Lively herself has remained publicly silent, but sources close to the actress insist she is devastated. And weighing her next move? Rumors are already swirling. She's scrambling to find new representation before the next hearing set for later this month.
Of course, there's an entirely new claim that comes out at some point during this litigation. And so the impacts of this dismissal are therefore going to be much more complete and obvious on the Wayfarer side of things.
So what exactly was in those secret documents? Insiders say the evidence includes detailed timelines showing that some of the claims in Blake's lawsuit don't match up with documented events, potentially opening the door to countersuits or defamation claims by Baldoni. Here's a quick timeline of this shocking meltdown. 3 months ago, Blake Lively files her lawsuit alleging serious breaches of contract and misconduct. Last month, multiple motions to compel discovery escalate tensions. 48 hours ago, Baldoni's legal team submits sealed evidence to the judge. Yesterday evening, the documents are partially unsealed, revealing explosive details. This morning, Blake's attorneys officially withdraw, citing irreconcilable conflicts. Other words, this case isn't just collapsing, it's imploding. Industry experts are now openly speculating that Blake may be forced to drop the lawsuit altogether or face a brutal countersuit that could expose even more behind the scenes secrets. So far, Baldoni's camp has wasted no time capitalizing on this momentum. Just hours after the walkout, his team released a second statement calling for a full and final dismissal of all claims. If the court agrees, it could be the ultimate vindication for Baldonian, a career-shaking setback for Blake. What happens next? For now, Blake Lively is without a lawyer. Her lawsuit is in tatters. And Baldoni's legal team is signaling they're ready to take this all the way. 1. Hollywood agent summed it up perfectly. This is the biggest legal faceplant we've seen from an A-list star in years. Stay tuned, because if today's meltdown is any clue, the fallout is just getting started. If you want the latest updates on this unfolding scandal, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. We'll keep bringing you every twist and turn because this story is far from over. Even as the news rippled across Hollywood, insiders were already dissecting exactly how this legal catastrophe spiraled out of control. Some pointed fingers at Blake Lively's advisors, claiming they underestimated how aggressively Baldoni's team would fight back. Others whispered that Blake herself had been warned for months that the evidence she was relying on might not hold up under scrutiny. By midday, legal analysts were crowding onto every major entertainment talk show, debating whether Blake could, realistically, find a new legal team willing to pick up the case. One prominent Los Angeles attorney told Variety that any lawyer stepping in now would face an uphill battle against not just Baldoni's filings, but also the perception that the entire narrative had unraveled. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Baldoni's team was reportedly already drafting motions to recover their legal costs and possibly pursue damages for what they described as a malicious and defamatory campaign. A source familiar with the discussions said bluntly, they're going for total victory. They don't just want this lawsuit gone, they want an apology and a check. As the story spread, social media platforms exploded with hashtags like hashtag Blake quits, hashtag Baldoni wins, and hashtag Hollywood meltdown. Fans and critics alike flooded Instagram comment sections with heated arguments. Some were outraged, claiming this was yet another example of celebrity privilege and toxic industry power struggles. Others insisted Blake had simply been caught fabricating allegations she couldn't prove. Even celebrities began to weigh in. List actress Jessica Chastain posted a cryptic tweet reading, "Sometimes the truth comes out in the ugliest ways." Although she didn't tag anyone, the timing left little doubt she was referring to Blake's legal implosion. Within hours, entertainment blogs began unearthing older interviews where Blake had hinted at behind-the-scenes conflicts with producers and co-stars. Some of those quotes were reshared thousands of times, reframed as supposed proof that the lawsuit had been doomed from the start. Meanwhile, Baldoni himself remained mostly silent, choosing not to make any personal statements beyond the carefully worded press releases from his representatives. However, paparazzi caught him leaving his production office late that evening, smiling and shaking hands with his legal counsel, a moment that immediately went viral as a symbol of his apparent triumph. Legal experts told Deadline that Blake's best option at this point might be to settle quietly and avoid further public embarrassment. But even that possibility seemed complicated. Given that her entire legal team had resigned and no replacement counsel had filed an appearance by the end of the business day, people close to the situation said Blake was heartbroken and in shock, and that she had retreated to her home in upstate New York to figure out her next move. By nightfall, the headlines were everywhere. Blake Lively, abandoned by legal team. Baldoni's evidence destroys case. Hollywood lawsuit implodes in real time. Baldoni demands full dismissal and public apology. Fans who had been following the courtroom drama from the beginning were glued to their phones, refreshing for updates every few minutes. Comment sections under the news stories became battlegrounds of speculation, blame, and conspiracy theories. Some insisted Blake had been set up. Others argued that she'd tried to weaponize the legal system and got caught. A well-known podcast host summed it up bluntly in a viral clip that night. "This is the problem when you sue someone with deeper pockets and a bigger paper trail. If you don't have receipts, you're going to get burned." The fallout didn't stop there. At least two major brands that had recently signed endorsement deals with Blake were reportedly reviewing their contracts, according to a statement given to The Hollywood Reporter. Public relations insiders warned that even if she manages to salvage the lawsuit, her image had already taken a serious hit. Industry analysts called it one of the most stunning reversals of fortune for an A-list celebrity in years. A cautionary tale of how quickly a legal strategy can collapse when the other side comes prepared with undisclosed evidence. Meanwhile, Baldoni's legal team was already scheduling media appearances to frame the narrative in their favor. One insider described them as energized and ready to finish this once and for all. For Blake Lively, the next few days would be critical. She would have to find a new lawyer willing to jump into a case already riddled with doubt and public scrutiny, or she might be forced to walk away entirely and face a humiliating defeat. Either way, the damage had been done. The once tightly controlled narrative had shattered. The world was watching, and no matter what happened next, nothing would ever quite be the same.